Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, we're going to do a hero guide on Greed, our latest free hero for everyone.
The finest blood for the most untainted soul.
Alright, so the Greed saga started with them putting out a update which added Greed as like a 30-day login reward. Well, a lot of us, myself included, don't even have a Greed that have been playing for much longer. So I think people kind of raised a bit of a stink about, well, what about those of us that already passed it? Can we get one too? And well, they actually did. I love this company, guys. They continue to surprise me, and I can't imagine like a better I don't know, response from a developer. So many of these games are just so greedy and terrible and don't care what the players say. But this game cares, and they actually gave us a grade. Or they're giving us a greed. We have a greed now. If I'm posting this video, I think it's because we have a greed in our mailbox. But yeah, I'm really happy. Greed is a pretty cool hero. Now, for pretty much any account, you can still use greed. Even if you've got all the OP heroes, he has some really special value, which is what we're going to talk about today. Now, who 100% does not need greed? I mean, I guess you could say if you already do Gear Raid 1, stage 21, the final stage, and if you do your final stages of the, let's see, Cultist and Nightmare faction, you're probably good. But if you actually need a little help to finish off the faction trials, he could be the answer. Or they could be the answer. There's two of them, I think. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I really wanted to do a hero guide on Greed and just talk about his kit. He definitely is a bit underrated, but he's a very rare to pull hero. And he was actually in the Awakening shop a week ago, and I bought his Awakening Stone even though I didn't have a Greed. So now I've already got an A1 Greed ready to go because I bought that Awakening Stone from the shop. If you see any Awakening Stones in the shop, guys, and you have extra Awakening coins sitting around, and it's one of the hard to pull heroes, even if you don't have them, grab it. You're setting yourself up for an easy A1 when you do eventually get that epic. I am talking about epics, obviously, not legendaries, because those are a lot harder to come by. But all right, let's get into it. So yeah, I am here on the test server because I don't have a greed myself. So this is, again, not to be confused with the Forerunner server that's completely different. That is a beta server. And the global servers are obviously different as well. And I am here at my Airbnb in Syracuse, New York. I keep hitting my camera, sorry guys, I keep hitting the desk, making it wiggle. And we have some makeshift old webcam, cheap microphone. I'm in a corner, it's a little bit reverby, but I'm trying. I put pillows next to me to make the sound a little bit better, but we're working on it. We're trying, guys, so I'll go back to the normal green screen here soon enough when I get back in Romania. But yeah, it's time for a greed guide. So let's talk about Greed, Hell's second seat. So again, he's part of the Nightmare and Cultist factions, which is great. That means he can help in multiple faction trials, so I love that. True to his name, this wolfish demon siphons multiple souls at once, inflicting AoE and slow. So he's got AoE attack, control, and burning. And he's also got a really good, I guess, supportive debuff that you don't really see much in this game, which we're also going to point out, of course. So I'm loving it, though. I think he's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to getting one, and I'll probably use him. I might actually use him in trying to push my Gear Raid 1-20 because I think the debuffs he brings are really helpful. So let's talk about that. Let's go to his skills. So he doesn't have a talent. He's one of those. He's one of those that has no talent. Greed. Devs. staff. Can you put him on the list for a buff to give him a talent? Maybe make him do a little bit more damage along the way? That would be great. Okay, so we have Purgatory, his ultimate. Gathers energy and releases a soul orb upon hitting the target, dealing AoE damage equal to 240% attack. Creates a purgatory that can either inflict slow on all enemies in range or deal 15% AoE damage per second, lasting for 8 seconds. Airborne units take half the damage from purgatory. So slow decreases the enemy's movement speed. And then so it's either a slow or a damage over time with his ultimate, on top of the big damage he's already going to do. All right, looking here, this is where he gets really interesting, and this is really cool because this is a basic attack. So his basic attack deals AoE damage to multiple enemies within range with a 50% chance of increasing the range or inflicting magic resistance reduction on the target for 4 seconds. So, magic resistance reduction is different than magic vulnerability, and those are two different debuffs. So you can put both of those debuffs on the enemies and help reduce the magic damage even more, right? Increase your magic damage even more, I should say, that you put out from your team. So, magic resistance, minus 15%. Take effect only when stronger than the current buff or debuff on the same attribute. So there are multiple heroes with magic resistance reduction, but not many. Some of them are going to have different values, just like the vulnerability one. Sorry, did I say vulnerability? There's multiple heroes with magic resistance reduction, just like magic vulnerability or physical damage vulnerability, whatever it's called. They have kind of the same thing where different heroes have different percentages of what they do, which is like why A1 Twin is amazing, but without an A1, Pyros does the bigger version, right? Or gets it, or it actually just does it. But yeah, all right, let's keep going. So this is really good, and this is going to enable your whole team to do more damage. So it's not necessarily about him being the core DPS, although he's still going to put out pretty solid damage. He's more going to enable the rest of your team to do more damage against those heavy armor units. And then the passive here drains the victim's soul after every kill to increase attack by 15% for 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. All right, let's take a look at his awakenings. So Awaken 1, which is how I did for him here, because I figure it's a pretty solid Awaken 1, so if you have Epic Soul Stones, Universal ones, he might be someone you end up using them on, especially if you really need a good AoE mage hero and you have a limited roster like a lot of people. Not everybody has a Comet or a Vienna or a Lucia, right? So, alright, let's go. I'm out of breath talking again. I don't know, sometimes this comes in waves with pregnancy, with me just getting out of breath while recording a video, so I apologize, guys. I'll take my pauses, though, bear with me. I got water, I'm good. Doing okay, busy day. Just making videos, but a pretty chill day overall, so. I'm out of breath for no reason. I ate food. Okay, anyway, I digress. Awaken 1 increases a basic attack chance of triggering special effects by 10%. 2 special effects are triggered alternatively. So, triggering the magic resistance reduction, you have a higher chance of doing so, which can, in both effects, they mean like 2 special effects are triggered alternately. So you've got the increased range or the magic resistance reduction. It's pretty cool. I like that there's like this weird multiple option buff. I don't know. It's interesting. It's a weird kit, but pretty good, honestly. So we have Awaken 2, this adds attack. Awaken 3 increases the soul reaping stat cap to 5. So this cap for increasing your attack goes from 3 to 5. That's huge. And then we have a crit rate on his Awaken 4 and Awaken 5. The cast of Purgatory triggers 2 special effects at the same time. So instead here where it's like, or what was it? Yeah, and creates a Purgatory that either inflicts slow or does damage over time AoE. It's going to do both instead, which is really great, especially if you have Aeon as a lord, or you're really lucky and you have Morrigan as a lord. Having his ultimate always put out slow is going to dramatically help to get that faction bonus, where enemies that are under a control effect take more damage from all faction allies. So it's just a really, really good synergy that he's going to bring more value to a team full of cultists. So let's say you have your Aeon that you got from your fusion, and maybe you have Iona that you got lucky enough to pull or bought for the $5 pack. He's going to go really great with them. So keep in mind that there's more to a hero than just their how much do they smash. It's like, what do they bring to the team? And he's definitely the kind of hero that's going to enable your whole team to do more damage. And especially at Awaken 5, which he's an epic. It's not that hard to get. All right. So let's continue here. I'm going to talk about gear. So because he does do AoEs with all of his skills, including his basic, I went ahead and put him in an AoE set. Again, nothing crazy. I have been forgetting to farm this damn test server. I've been farming my main account and forgetting about farming the test server. Nothing crazy with my gear. I got lucky with some rolls here, but flat defense, flat HP, survivability, but I did get some crit rate here. His crit rate's at 93.5. Crit damage 86%, plus 86%, nothing crazy there. And I did more than double his attack, which is what I was aiming to do. His attack speed is a bit low though. I'd like to get that more, but again, I like to try to show a little bit more relatable builds as I click a legendary roll. Totally not what many of us have. I think I only have like 1 or 2 gold rolls on my whole account. So yeah, and then but then you see a really terrible piece right afterwards. So hopefully that brings it back down to earth. But yeah, this is a really cool. I gotta lock that piece. Let me lock that massive attack bonus. All right, and for artifact, I actually went ahead and just put him in Skull of Desecration because a lot of us probably have that after doing the last event, right? The Halloween event. So that's extra damage from AoE, which is what his kit's all about. So I kind of figured we would focus all the AoE damage to help him pump out a little more damage himself, besides helping a team do so. So now let's talk about where he's going to shine. Void Rift. You definitely need mages in Void Rift. He's going to be awesome there. So I'm personally trying to do... Oh, this is the test server. So I don't have anybody built, so it's telling me to do normal. But on the hard version of Void Rift, which is what I'm actually working on right now on my real account, you get bonus, mages get a bonus. He's a mage. I don't know if that's the same bonus all the time or if that changes, but yeah, that's definitely helpful. And there's a lot of enemies in Void Rift that are heavy armor that you need magic damage for. So his debuff on his basic attack is going to be even more valuable there. So he should be pretty solid if you're looking for some extra AoE damage and support to throw in to a team while working on Void Rift. Arena, I mean, yeah, he can definitely help depending on your team synergy as well. For Arena with the AoE damage one, simple enough there. Now the raids. So promotion raids, you can always use anyone in their respective area. It's kind of not too complicated there. Guild Boss, no, you're not going to use him in Guild Boss. Unless your team was extremely heavy in magic damage, then I guess you could use that debuff, but that'd be only a very early on substitution if you happen to be one of your best damage dealers. He's not a Guild Boss hero, unless you really... Yeah, I can't imagine. I guess if you found some quirky uses with a like full magic damage team, and then that magic damage reduction, whatever, debuff would actually help quite a lot. Artifact material raid, you're not going to use... Usually you're not going to use a mage unless you're just doing a cheese strat or early on, where you can blast with a DPS on the one platform. But the harder stages, you can't get away with that, so not the answer. Tide, of course, we can always use whoever our highest BP people are. Resource raids, obviously, he'll be great for either one of them. Simple AoE damage is great for the experience and the gold raid. Now, faction trials, yes, of course. The best thing about him with the faction trials is he is nightmare and cultist, so he can help in 2 different faction trials, bringing even more value. And alright, Gear Raid 1 is obviously a place he's going to shine. I have to give a shout to a newer content creator, Special K Gaming. He told me he's creating content now and he's excited. And he actually got really lucky getting some wonderful views on a video he did with, after he told me he was creating content, I went to his channel and I saw this one video with amazing views. And it's Greed soloing stage 18 of Gear Raid 1. Which I guess we're going to go in to do stage 18, but not with a solo. I'm just going to do a more budget team, but I'm sure the gear was a lot better. But you guys can go check out that video. Maybe I'll link that in the description and give the content creator a shout. He is a newer content creator, guys, so make sure you go give him a sub. Support the people, and if you guys want to see Greed truly soloing Gear Raid 1, stage 18 without boosters, just literally without boosters, like everyone does the, like I'm gonna use Dolores and Autumn and stuff, or Laurel Cheese, or actually I don't know if it's with Laurel Cheese. I don't remember now. You watch the video, you go find out. But yeah, I'll link that below because it's a really cool showcase of using Greed and show that he actually does have potential to do some pretty good damage. So let's go ahead into Gear Raid 1 now. Obviously, he's a mage, he's going to shine here. And he's AoE, he brings, again, the cultist synergy is really great. So I'm going to go ahead here, and he's going to be the main focus for damage. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun and bring in him. I brought in her, last run I did, but I don't need to do that. So maybe we just bring in someone else kind of random and extra. I was thinking to try to just bring in another simple AoE mage, but I don't really think I need to. You know what, I'm just not even... I'll throw her in maybe if we feel like it, but she's not going to do much damage. She's not all about that. But I had our other newer hero added to the game in the mix for one of my tests here. And we're just going to do a very basic team with very basic gear, guys. Almost all of these heroes do not have full sets on. Like they're mixed sets. So we're going to go right ahead and start off with Greed. He is going to go here in the middle. Boom. And then we're going to add in Mari to freeze and slow. I'm going to go ahead and boost them with Dolores behind. And then we're going to bring in our healer because Mari's squishy at only level 50. So we're going to put in our new girl as well. Why not? I'm going to give her some love. And then before I worry about adding in other boosters, I'm going to go ahead and put Scorch in here for some AoE damage. I'm not even going to worry about this little run here. We're going to wait for the others to come. And I could use her here too. But we really don't need to, honestly. She's not going to do much damage. You know what? I'll just throw her in. You're going to see she's not going to do much damage here. I could boost with Autumn for even more damage, though. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do with the boost. Why not? Let's have a little fun. Okay, now let's pop some ultimates. So Mari's going to go. I'm going to make sure we're healing with Mari not dying in the front there. I kind of forgot to wait for Autumn. My bad. My timings are already terrible. But it's fine. That's the good thing. This is a very easy run. It's just going to show you how with a super budget team, like obviously, again, Falcia is not a budget option, okay, but she's literally like a single target melee damage dealer that's not doing that much in this run. Scorch is going to be fine though. Mari's here to help. She's going to freeze and slow people down. And with her, the bonus from Aeon being a lord, well, that's going to make Greed do even more damage. Let's go ahead and pop Dolores. We're going to pop her. So, of course, Greed does not have an 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 ultimate that we can control. His ultimate is more based on, you know, it's like an auto, so you're kind of stuck with whatever it gives you. Oh my gosh, look at the funny trucks. Those are hilarious. I love the changes that they've made to this. Come on, let's pop some stuff. It's mostly Greed doing all the work, you'll see. Mari, one more set of freeze. I'll heal just in case. No one's even close to dying. Island is such a good healer. I don't have to worry about that at all. You could just use Vortex and not Island though, but I'm just using her for fun because she's recurrent for me making this video. Alright, so very easy, stage 18. I could have done even better if my timings were a little bit smarter with using Dolores and Autumn at the same time. And then the ultimates from the others. But as you're going to see here, boom. 22 million, very easy. He's obviously the main damage dealer. I did throw Scorch in there and Falsia for some little extra help. Why not? I might as well use someone else, not really rely on them for a solo. And Mari's just in there doing her thing to help give our Aeon bonus some oomph by controlling the enemies. And again, when enemies are under control effects like freeze and slow, all cultist faction heroes are gonna do more damage, which is Greed. So that helped Greed to do more damage as well. So simple synergy there and a really easy fight. I'm actually gonna go ahead now and do Gear Raid 2 as well. I feel like the stage 18s are just kind of a fun place that's more relatable for people. We're gonna stick there. I turned off Power of Dominance again. So this time I'm going to actually use Greed as the main DPS at the front. So if you guys saw my other video with, I guess Eileen, I showed her as the only healer for Gear Raid 1. Sorry, Gear Raid 2 here with stage 18, which was a lot harder than well, it was harder when I did it, I swear, on my real account. I think I had 3 healers to do it. It was pretty sad. But we're going to use Eileen as the only healer just because why not? We're having some fun with her at the same time. And we're going to use Greed as a main DPS and Dolores to boost. And it's going to be a pretty easy fight here too. This is stage 18 with a bit of a fun team. So let's go ahead and use our Baron to block the portal. Eileen is going to be our main healer. Dolores is going to boost Eileen she's going to give her more attack. And then Greed is going to be our main DPS. But I'm not going to place Greed yet. I'm going to wait until I'm just going to let Baron kill that one easy enemy. And we're going to wait here. We're going to just chill. I'm going to wait until the boss is done with those smashes, and then we're going to place Greed. Alright. Is that it? Okay, yep. Now the enemies are coming. Now we're going to place Greed. And now we can start placing everyone else too. So I'll go ahead and put a Solde down here. So let's go ahead and let Greed do some damage. We're going to pop Dolores to help with that. Let me go ahead and put Wrath over here. I forgot to place Wrath right away. That's actually what I meant to do. Wrath on one side, Scorch on the other side. Okay, let's go. Let's heal everybody. Let's make sure they can last through the smashes. No problem at all, right? Even Greed here. My Iona dies during this, but my Greed doesn't. I guess I made him tankier, or he has better stats. I'm not even sure. I'm gonna go ahead and place these other two, even though they're gonna die. You know what? I'll just do this. I'll place in front. Just to help get, shoot, I can't. See, I can get that bonus to make Wrath do more damage too, because, you know, the attack speed bonus is really helpful. Make him attack more often. We're gonna go ahead and use... So, now he's doing nothing, but it's fine. The boss is coming now. And we're gonna destroy... Did all my Greed died this time? No! That's the worst. I was not paying attention and I popped my island's healing a little too late and my Greed died. Oops. It's fine. It's fine. The boss is going to die anyway from just our crappy DPS of Cyclone being thrown in there. And, well, obviously Wrath is going to do just fine. And let's go ahead here and finish him. Actually, I don't even need to finish him off, do we? We don't even need to put him back in there. Very easy fight. So the majority of the fight, poor Greed didn't even get to hit the boss because I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, Greed doesn't normally die. So a couple people might die at the very end when the boss starts moving. But it's not a big deal. Because of that, Wrath actually did more damage than Greed here. That's so funny. But that's because my Greed died before the boss came over. Which makes sense. But look at Baron. This is just a very chill, easy, well-balanced little team. But obviously, when I did this, of course when I do it live, I'm going to mess it up. But yeah, Greed can definitely survive as long as you might time my healing a little bit better. No problem there. It's a fun way to use them in Gear Raid 2 as a main DPS. Can he work as the main DPS on stage 19? Now that's another issue. Maybe. He could definitely be one of the helpers if you have multiple that you swap in and out, but I don't think that's his best role, honestly. You're probably going to need someone a little stronger, but definitely stage 18 or below. And you know, stage 18 is only farming mythic gear, so that's where most people should be aiming if you haven't got there already. When it comes to Gear Raid 3, if you get Greed very early on, and you're pushing your Gear Raid 3, you might use a mage or two before you switch to all marksman. So go right ahead and use him there, especially if you're just trying to progress through like stage 13, where you start getting a little bit better gear options. On to stage 16 to start getting better chances for that ancient artifact, mythic ones, and of course stage 18. But once you get to stage 19, you're probably not going to have any mages left in your roster unless they're just there to kill off the enemies that pop up at the top, depending on your strategy. You really do want the strong marksman type comps there, but they can definitely help early on. And for everyone that's getting him on day 30, you're probably going to use some mages. I used my Comet in Gear Raid 3 until I was trying to hit stage 19, so it definitely is possible. But yeah, hope this was helpful, guys. I really like Greed. I really think it's important that people not just look at the damage numbers that one hero puts out, but how does that hero synergize with their lord, with the rest of a team, right? It's more than just how much damage do they do. And he brings a really unique value with this debuff here. And if you get him to Awaken 5, and he's able to slow and do damage over time at the same time, that's really going to help a team that is dealing with the wonderful cultist lords. So hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.